4 pounds. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Remember this guy here? Just did a full review on it. This is the Aeroo Pro fishing heavy lift drone. Well, today we're gonna do a massive lift test on this thing. We're gonna see how much it can lift, if it's gonna crash or what. So stay tuned if you wanna see what the Aeroo Pro drone can lift. Let's do it. I'm going to start off with showing you the test bed. Of course, here's the drone we're going to be lifting with, the Aeroo Pro. Check in the description down below on where you can get more information or buy this thing. I did an initial full-on review, so check that video down below, down the description. Also have that thing pop up here in a card. So if you're interested in this drone, go ahead and just check what it's all about in my first original in-depth flight test. But today's all about lifting little mini monster trucks. So let's go ahead and see as many as we can fit in this thing. We're gonna lift it with this cable here. I'm gonna attach this cable to the bottom. This guy here weighs about 2 1/3 pounds. It's like 2.35 or so pounds. Aeroo states that this thing can lift about 2.2 pounds safely. We know that it can handle no problem with that much weight. That's going a little over. We just need to know how much more weight it can handle before it has problems. Just wanted to show you an approximate weight on these guys. It's on the pound and ounce option right now, zeroed out. So one truck is weighing approximately, about 3 to 4 ounces. This is just one of those luggage scales. So we're zeroed out in pounds right now. Let's go ahead and attach it right here to the back. This is essentially how I'm going to be holding this thing up in the air on the drone. And let's see what we get. So we're right about 2.4 pounds. I think this is going to be an absolute blast. My little boy loves these little trucks. He's 3 years old, going on 4. And I don't know if you have any kids, but they just love these little monster trucks. If you've got kids, show them this video. They might just get a kick out of it. Okay guys, exciting. So the way this drone works, if you've seen my initial video, go ahead and check it out because it tells you a lot more about this drone. Also gonna do a range test as well. So this little thing has a drop release mechanism right here with a little bar that goes across. It has this nice little convenient button on the bottom that engages and disengages the drop release. Just for doing this right here. So I'm going to put this little cable in there in the center, engage that drop release so that won't come out. And then we'll go ahead and launch it first, hook it on to that truck right here, and then I'll go ahead and get all those other little trucks and start popping them in. Let's take off. Yes.
High altitude. Please fly with caution. The home point has been updated. Please be mindful.
Okay. There he is up there. So see our little cable here hanging? So there's a payload stability mode in the options. I'm gonna go ahead and switch that on. This keeps it a little more stable. Remember, this bad boy is 2 1/3 pounds. It's gonna get loud. Woo! Sucker's working. So this is kind of already going over the maximum weight they recommend, but it flies fine if you check this out. Forward, back. Already kind of did this in the initial flight test. You can still go up and down. That's just so cool. Woo! All right, let's start popping monster trucks in there. I'm gonna turn the drone camera down and film so you can kind of get a better perspective of it, a downward perspective. Let's go ahead and film that. And here we go. All right. So, whoa, wind's coming up. One more truck. That's 2.5 pounds. Two and 3/4. 3 pounds. Let's see how it handles with 3 pounds in there. It's still doing good. Do some maneuvers, bring it back over. Woo. Yep. It's wandering just a little bit, a couple feet up and down. Let's let it stabilize. Right here. Come on down, buddy. There we go. I'm gonna grab 3 more trucks. So that's 3 pounds. 3 1/3. 3 3/4. Ooh, it's having a hard time staying up a little bit. 4 pounds. Actually, that's 4 1/3, I think. 4 1/3 of a pound. I think I just put 4 monster trucks in. Each one is 1/3 of a pound. All right, so I'm not touching the altitude. I'm just touching the right stick. Oh, I'm gonna bring it up a little bit. Wow, it's still lifting about 4 1/3 of a pound. I'm gonna have to somehow, I'm gonna disconnect this, guys. Listen to that drone. Just gets so much quieter. Come on, disconnect. There we go. I'm gonna have to sort these monster trucks a little better so we can put more in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was 7 monster trucks. Let's see what the best way to do this is to fit as many as we can in. I'm just gonna have to kind of stack them in the back a bit. All right, let's stack them back in. Woo! That thing's crazy. Seven, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, we're getting warnings on the screen. All right, we had 13 on there. 1 fell off. Let's fly around a bit. Wow, you can still do this with 13. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm pushing up. Oh, they're falling off. Okay, I think that's the max, guys. All right, let's bring her down. Whoa, this thing wants to land. Really wants to land. So I'm gonna let her land before we crash it or get into trouble. Holy smokes. Oh my gosh. So what an experience. We got monster trucks falling out everywhere. I could see, man, if you wanted to bring out a big old fish on a hook and just send that sucker, it's gonna last for a while. You may have to lift it up at the end there. I had to kind of push up on the controller just to keep it from sagging. But the battery was dropping really quick. I mean, I think we were down to, let's just double check what our battery is. Yeah, our battery's 19%. So after that whole thing, I was fiddling with the trucks for a while. And after that whole thing, we got down to 19%. So I could see if you wanted to take a huge bait out, just be careful, because they're only saying safely 2.2 pounds from the Aeroo company. So as long as you just keep your height, keep it up a little bit, make sure you're not going to hit the water, and take a gigantic bait out there with some weight, you can do it. like a couple hundred yards, a few hundred yards, drop that sucker. And then of course, when it releases all that weight, when you do the drop mechanism, which actually I do want to show you this thing drop. I did it in the first video and dropped this truck, but I want to kind of do it again. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it at this low of battery power. Oh, it does.
High altitude.
Okay.
Please fly with caution.
It's doing it.
Home point has been updated. Please be mindful of the new return.
Okay, we got a bunch of trucks in there. Let's just drop it over here in the dirt. Okay. All right, here we go. Dropping now. Dropping. Oh. So you hear it? As soon as you drop, this thing gets super quiet and everything's fine. So you know what I mean? Shoot your bait out there really quick, drop that sucker fast, and then it'll fly like this without any weight on it. Bring her on back, and you should be fine, guys. That was awesome. And you can hand catch this thing. You just grab it, pull down on the stick till it stops, the propellers stop. Be very careful. But you can do that if you're on a shoreline or a rocky situation where you just cannot ground launch. Do a hand launch and catch. It is possible. Let's sit down for a minute, guys, and kind of rehash that situation, talk about our pros and cons, and kind of run through everything we did here. The control at that heavy of load started to get pretty wonky where I had to just kind of help it up because it wanted to kind of sink down. Did look at the screen for a sec and it had a little red like overload warning on there. So just be careful. If you do see that and you're flying out, so at the top left, just make sure once you see that overload, just to be very safe, you don't want this thing to fall in the ocean if you're using it for fishing. Just drop it right away if you see that. Because I'd imagine, you know, these things are not hot. They're a little warm. So this is the hottest part right here. So I think it's really loading that battery, getting those amps. It's just pulling a crazy amount of power. While I was pushing it up to keep it up in the air and you can hear how loud it was, I was kind of expecting it to maybe just cut power to the motors because they're overheating or overloading, but it didn't do that. You can have it drop when it disconnects. We're still going to do a range test, so I don't know how far this thing will fly in connection with the controller. We're going to do that how I do my normal range tests. But you can program it to, if you have a payload and the drop mechanism is closed, where once you just fly out as far as you can, say you're on the ocean shoreline and you just want to get that bait out as far as you can, it will just drop when it loses connection. And then once it drops, it will come back to the home point, just like other drones do. It just comes right back. Boy, that was super fun, guys. These monster trucks, man, those little mini monster trucks. My son loves this, so he's going to be watching this video. Maybe your kids will like this video too, something different. So the thing is, it could probably lift a little more for a short amount of time. I was kind of getting wary of it when it started to kind of droop down on its own without me giving it any throttle. And at that point, I kind of knew, okay, this thing's probably not going to be able to fly for a whole lot longer. And I still got to do a range test on this, so I don't want to break it yet. So guys, if you're interested in seeing that range test on the Aeroo Pro, that's what's next up for this thing. We might lose it, we might crash it, we might not. I do those with a lot of drones, but it's good to know how far you can push these things. Anyway, guys, this guy will be down in the description down below, so check it out, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.